To start with, firstly we start JavaScript.
Yep.
What are the data? What are the data types in JavaScript?
So there are two types of data type. We can say primitive and non-primitive types. Primitive types are like string, number, boolean, where we are not storing the reference, we are actually storing the value. But non-primitive, where we are storing the reference, but in actually that they are stored in a heap memory. So in stack, we are just pointing to that heap memory. So non-primitives are like array, object, and functions. Yes, sir.
So, what is hosting in JavaScript?
So, sir, hosting, I understand uh, when we uh, when we initialize variable in scripts, JavaScript
Okay,
scans.
okay. Please turn off your camera. There is some issue in your audio.
Okay.
Yes, okay.
So I'm saying like hostings are my understanding like when JavaScript goes through the script, when it starts compiling, it moves all the variables and function declaration in top, uh, and then it starts initializing that. So it scans two times and moves all the function and variable declarations at the top.
Okay. What is the difference between the global scope and the local scope?
Global scope and the local scope. So global scope means they are defined global level, like outside of our functions, outside our if blocks. So, but the variables which are defined inside functions, inside nested function, that we can say like, those are like locally accessible inside that block only.
Okay. So then, what is the lexical scope?
Mm, mm, I heard about this, but I'm not able to recall.
Okay. Can you define me how the Node.js work?
Okay. So, sir, Node.js work on event-driven architecture, um,
Yes.
and whenever like um, whenever a request comes to the server, Node.js server, um, the, it starts at I'm not sure, sir, the exact like internal architecture, but I just know like the whenever a request came to the Node.js server, it puts in the call stack and then it start picking the request, and then we have a event loop as well, which will handles the all the asynchronous tasks like all the calls to the, which goes to the database, and all the asynchronous operations event loop will handle, and all the asynchronous operations are will be directly executed. So yes, sir.
Okay. What is event loop?
Event loop, sir, is a continuous loop that keeps at browser level, sir. I have a much better understanding. So it is a continuous loop which just checks the which continuously runs and runs, and it checks the call stack. If there is a asynchronous task, it will move the like if let's say we encounter any timer function, it will move to the browser API, or it also has two micro queue and macro queues. So all the asynchronous tasks will go either in micro and macro. So depend on what type of asynchronous task it is, event loop will decide. Like for example, it's a promise. I believe it will go in micro, and if it's a timer which is less priority, then it will go in macro. So there is a priority defined for both the queues, and based on that, it will move that code to that particular section. Like, and once call stack is empty, it will move back those tasks to the call stack and it will execute. So it basically, its main function is to take the asynchronous task from call stack and move to the queues. So it depends which type of task it is, and it will move to the queues. And then once the call stack is empty, it will again move that to the call stack. So whichever has more priority, it will move that first. Like for example, promise has more priority, and timer function has less. So first promise will be moved to the call stack. It will execute, and then timer function will move to the call stack and
That is
execute.
the working functionality of event loop.
So can one time can you please repeat?
That is the working functionality.
Hmm.
Event you say one second. You said hold the working functionality of the event loop. I'm
Hmm.
saying that what is event loop?
So it's a continuous loop, maybe some kind of for loop which continuously executes and checks the call stack. If it, so, sir, my understanding, it's just a loop which runs infinitely. So its work
Yes,
is to
yes, yes. Uh, okay. What is the closure?
closure, sir. Closure are formed like closure are also, sir, like environment, like nested environment. Like when we create nested functions, uh, we say like we there is a closure now. Inside that, only those variable will be accessible. So that is an environment where only those variable will be accessible, not outside.
Okay.
Like usually,
Wha-
when we created nested function, we are returning nested functions to
What
other function.
what is callback?
Callback, uh, callback is like calling a function, like, but that function is passed as an argument. Let's say I have a function A, and I have passed function B, and inside function A, I'm calling B. So it's a kind of I'm calling that function back, which is passed as an argument.
Okay.
It mainly it is used for asynchronous operations.
Okay. What is asynchronous operations?
Mm, so asynchronous operations, like which can take time to execute. Like for example, API call. We know we will not get response immediately because synchronous task will runs line by line. Like I declared one variable, I assigned one variable. It will execute line by line at the same time. But API call will return promise. So we have to asynchronous means like it will return promise, and we have to wait for some time to get the actual data from server or maybe uh, that promise. So asynchronous operations are operations which are return promise, and promise is nothing but a JavaScript object which can be fulfilled or rejected or pending.
Okay. So what is promises?
So promise is also one of the core object in JavaScript. When we define promise, we basically define three states for that object: pending, fulfilled, and rejected. Basically, they are the core feature which handle the all the task which can take time, like like set timeout. Also, we take time. So it also take two callback function: resolve and reject. If I want to resolve a promise, I can use resolve function. I can pass the data which I want, and I can if I want to reject a promise, I can call reject callback function, and then I will pass the data which I want. Like, So basically, they handles the tasks which can take time.
Mm. Why the introduced promises over the callback?
So to avoid the callback hell, that was the main disadvantage with callbacks, which developers faces. I think the structure was very unreadable comparing to promises. That's why they. That's
Okay.
what I think.
Oh, tell me the difference between the filter, map, filter, and reduce methods
Okay,
of
so
array.
this is a map filter. Okay, so filter. If I filter function of method of array is to filtering out all the elements based on some condition. Let's say I only want even number, so that function can be used there. Like we can define any function, like that filter will take any function, callback function, and we can define condition based on that it will return the new array. It won't modify the existing array. That is also one of the feature of filter. Map also return a new array, does not modify the existing array. Only thing is we can do any operation with any element. Let's say I have an array of. So should I read the question or should I first define reduce? I
Mhm.
mean, when sir last one you mentioned sir reduce, which is if I want to combine filter and mapping, then we can use reduce where we are filtering also and mapping also. Like we are changing the structure of the array of object and.
Okay. I've sent a task in your chat.
Mhm.
Can you series three?
Yes, sir. Sure.